Hello, it's Common Man Survival Guide. Welcome to the tabletop of the Shcrade SCHF9. I actually just got this a few minutes ago, and I'm gonna do the tabletop on it. I already took it out of its packaging and everything, but okay. First of all, we're gonna look at the specs before we pull this out of its sheath. It has an overall length of 12.1 inches, a handle length of 5.7 inches, a blade length of 6.4 inches. Its weight is 19.4 ounces. Its blade steel is 1095 high carbon steel. Its handle material is Shcrade and it has a nylon sheath. So let's take this out and look at it. First, we're going to take a look at the sheath, as always. It has a pouch right here to put whatever you want in it. It has a buckle, and then it's velcroed, and then it has a little elastic band to hold down the pocket. It's a pretty decent sized pocket. You could fit a cotton ball, and you could fit a couple cotton balls in there, a fire steel, maybe a fishing kit, something like that. And it has a strap on the back for molly gear, and you can remove this pouch. Pretty aggressive Velcro, and this smaller pouch has a belt loop right here to wear it as a belt if you so choose. And here it has this Velcro patch. Now you could use that for a morale patch if you wanted to. I think I'm gonna put a morale patch on this, or leave the pouch. I'm not sure. Then it has, like I said, this molly backing. So there's that. Has some Velcro. Has a leg tie down right here. Has a plastic insert. Has this adjustable snap. It's a pretty nice snap. And then it has this belt loop, which I really like because it's Velcro, meaning you don't have to take off your belt to put it on your belt, and I really like that. That's one of my favorite things about this sheath. Let's move on to the knife that everybody's wanting to look at. It's got a recurve blade, 1/4 of an inch thick. It's a beast. There's that Shcrade handle. The handle's pretty thick. I mean, it's not too thick for me. I can get some good control on this knife, but it's pretty thick. So someone with smaller hands might find it uncomfortable. It's got a finger choil right here. Now, I think this might have a 90-degree spine, but I'm not entirely sure. We're going to go find out in the field test, so stay tuned with us and we'll catch you out there. It's Common Man Survival out here getting ready to test this SCHF9, and the first test I wanted to perform on it was batoning, because to me, if you're stranded outside in the wilderness with only your survival knife and no axe, this is going to be crucial. Now, I'm not very scared this is going to break because it's 1/4 of an inch thick. And as you can see, we did pretty good on that. We took out a pretty good chunk. Let's try some more. It's doing pretty well with batoning. I'll try a couple more pieces. This is pushing it. This piece is about the same length as the knife. Yeah, no problem. I didn't think I was going to have a problem with batoning because it's so thick. It's just like a splitting wedge. It's just blowing right through these pieces of willow. Let's step it up and try a really knotty piece. This one's full of knots, and I don't know if it's gonna make it or not, but we'll try. Well, yep, see, I broke my baton. No problem. It's getting right through it. Okay, now let's move on to something else. Let's try a little bit of chopping. Okay, we're gonna move on to chopping, but before I do that, I'd like to try something I forgot. Now, I was talking about how I wasn't sure if this had that 90-degree spine. We're just gonna try it out on a fire steel real quick. And as you can see, it does have a 90-degree spine. So let's move on to a little bit of chopping and see how it does. Now, this is just about a 1-inch log I found over there, falling off in a recent storm. So let's try and see if we can get through it. So, as you can see, we got through that no problem, and I'm not fatigued really at all, but I'm not sure if that's the coating wearing, but it looks like the coating might be wearing already. There is something I want to note about this SCHF9. I'm sure it's not all of them, but the angle at the tip, it's slightly uneven. The grind is, but that's not that big of a deal to me. And a lot of guys say that it wouldn't be a best tactical knife because of the tip doesn't have a very good piercing tip. So I want to give that a try right now and see how well it pierces. Now this is a frozen log, and didn't do too bad with piercing. It's not as bad as some guys were making it out to be. It's piercing pretty well. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything wrong with piercing. Let's go ahead and try a little bit of carving. So, like I was saying earlier, it has a choil right here, and I just want to see how well. Okay, it's probably not going to be the best for carving because it's got a really thick stock. It's going to get the job done by all means. It's doing really well, but I would probably pair this with a smaller neck knife or maybe a Mora to do your finer work. But if this is all you had, you're definitely going to be a lot better off for having it. I'm really impressed with how much knife you get here for the value, around $43. This is one heck of a knife. I'm falling in love with this the more and the more I use it. It's just, like I said, it's a real value for. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can't get some curls. Now, like I said, this wood is frozen. It does okay with feather sticking. It does really good with feather sticking. So now I want to try kind of a new test that I'm going to start doing with the knives. I'm going to drive the tip in with another stick and see if I can't split a piece of wood that way. Okay, that may not be the best test because it's... Let's just try, let's try making a little bit of a point. Now this is a little big to be a tent stake, but let's just suppose you had to. This was your only option for a tent stake. Huh. Now that's pretty neat. I found out about this piece of wood. I just split this. There's actually sapling growing in the heart of this piece. Huh. Strange. Anyways. So there you go. You got the start of your tent stake. You could tune it up with maybe a little more time and effort, but I think, again, I'm going to reiterate that I think this is an extreme value for this knife. When I first got this, I thought this was going to be a little bit larger, and I'm actually really pleasantly surprised that it's a little bit smaller because I have a machete for doing my larger work and an axe here in I'm in southern Ohio. So we have hardwoods out here. It's moderate. We don't have exactly the hardest woods, but we don't have any really soft wood either. So we're gonna get back to you, and we're gonna try a little bit of maybe using this as some machete work, delimbing, and that. So we'll get back to you. Okay, we're back. Now what I've done is I've lashed my SCHF9 to just a branch that I chopped down. And I wouldn't recommend doing this, but if you absolutely had no other way of securing food, you couldn't make snares, there just wasn't any small game you could get, you could lash to a pole and make a spear. Now it's probably not going to be the greatest for piercing, like I already explained, but we're just going to go ahead and try it and see what happens. Okay, it works for that function, but like I said, I probably wouldn't advocate that because that's a good way to lose your knife. If you did manage to stick some sort of large, pretty sharp as when I got it. It has some slight dulling towards the chopping part, but that's to be expected from any knife. Like I said 3 or 4 times before, I believe this is an exceptional value. It's probably one of the best survival knives you're going to get for the money. And this is definitely Common Man Survival Guide approved. So we'll catch you guys for another review, and until then, be safe, and thank you guys for stopping in.